Hey everyone, Spicy Toast Gaming here. Hope you're having a great day. Hope this video can make it a little bit better for you. Today, I just want to talk to you about the new event that Riot has put into the game and why this is the most fun I've been having in the game for a very long time. It's the best time to come back and play the game if you maybe have fallen off the game in the past, and why just overall this is one of the best updates we have ever had. First though, I'll break down what events are just in case you don't know. So up here, you can now see that there are different versions of the map you can go for. So the normal world adventures, if you play the game at all, this is where you start off. Then they've added these nightmare versions where there's tougher versions of encounters you'll normally see in the normal world adventure. And then there's a third one that is only up for a limited time. You can see right here that it ends in 36 days. And so they have these limited time events. Now, the way the events work is they'll be up for 2 months, and there's a patch every month. So essentially it'll be up for 2 patches. Then there's going to be 1 month where there's no event. And then the month after that, there'll be a new event that again will be up for 2 months or 2 patches. So this is kind of turning Legends of Runeterra into a little bit more of a seasonal game, which I think is a interesting approach. But if they keep doing events like the one we have currently, then I am all here for it. So the first event we had was the Legends of Arcane event. This was based on the Arcane Season 2, and overall, I would say the event was fine. It added a bunch of new adventures, which is always fun to go through. A lot of rewards, that was great, because this is a very rewards-focused game. People like being able to play to get rewarded back. And then it added a new effect that while you were through a run, you could potentially get powers from other champions, their star powers. Now this was interesting, and sometimes you have a very impactful run where you just get exactly the power you needed, especially the fact that you could get other champions 6-star powers. So sometimes, rarely, you could get a run where you had multiple 6-star powers all going at the same time. A bit of an issue though with this event is that it wasn't really affecting how you were playing every single game, because sometimes you just wouldn't get any powers, or if you did, they wouldn't be that impactful. And overall, as you were going through these adventures, often it felt very normal to just any other time you were playing the game. This event though is completely different and is absolutely fantastic. So this event is called Titans of Runeterra, and it's all about dropping big units, big cards, and trying to make any deck you're playing feel like a Titanic deck. So the modifier for this whole event is right here. Larger than life. Game start, both players gain 3 mana gems. So that right there is massive. It's just dramatically speeding up the game. So if you have a champion at 2 stars, you're starting at 5 mana. And if you get a champion to 5 stars, you can then start at 6 mana, which you can even further upgrade through certain relics. So that right there immediately changing the entire feel of the game, because every single adventure has this modifier. And then both players' units and damage and spells are stronger, and 3-cost cards and less are more expensive. So what this actually does, you're not only starting with extra mana, but pretty much every single card in your deck has got an extra item on it. So often through the game, you'll feel like you have a very impactful, strong build at the end of the adventure. You've got a bunch of items on all your cards. Here though, when you start the game, you already feel like you've gone through an entire adventure, because your whole deck has been radically shifted and upgraded to better align with this event. If we take a look at the Darius starting deck right here, for example, here's our 2-cost card. This has the item of Little Titan, so it gets 2/2 extra stats, but it costs 1 more now. Legion Marauder, same thing, 2/2, but it costs 1 more. If we take a look at Darius, he has the Titan's Axe. Now, this is the very start of the adventure. We have not done anything other than enter the adventure, but he's just getting this extra 3/3. Here for our Iron Ballista, again, Little Titan 2/2, but costs 1 more. And these items are based on the card's cost, so lower cost cards are getting these items that give them more stats that make them cost more. But that extra cost isn't really a downside, because you're getting so much extra mana that it still feels perfectly fine to play these cards, and you actually enjoy the extra stats and you don't mind the cost increase. But also a lot of your spells have also been increased. So here this got the Blasting Sigil, double damage, but costs 1 more. So it's just making your entire starting deck immediately feel more impactful, because almost every card in here gets an item on it. And so you feel like you've almost having a late game deck that you've already gone through an entire adventure with right at the very beginning. Also, as you're going through the adventure, the cards you're looking at, they also have these extra items on them as well. So just everything is feeling more impactful and just stronger overall. So it doesn't matter who you're playing in this event, and every time you go through one of these adventures, it feels completely different than any other part of the game, because you're not only starting with way more mana than anywhere else, all of your cards are different, but also with this event, they've not only added a bunch of items that, yes, are on your deck, but also new items you can find throughout the entire adventure. And they've also added new powers to the game as well. So overall, the entire game just feels so fresh to play that it actually feels like a brand new experience. For the game overall, because a lot of these items and powers have not only been added to the event, but they're in the overall game mode. So anywhere in Path of Champions, you're able to still find these, but especially for the event that they were all made for, they just fit so well and make the game feel so fresh and new. Now, another way that this extra mana as well as extra stats on your cards really changes how you play. Now you can go for completely new builds that you never could before on certain champions. There's a lot of champions that you would often be trying to go for a build where you can get them out early, whether that is going for different cost reduction through like Disciple of Shadows or like Packed Powder. But now since you have all the extra mana, you don't have to go for those builds. You can still just drop your champion turn 1 because you have 3 extra starting mana. So there's a lot of champions that you can go for a completely different build and have it work for you just because of this event. Also with the extra stats, there's some champions that they maybe want to go for like Starforge Gauntlets, but they have to try to also add in all these extra stats. But now a lot of champions, they get extra stats baseline, so they can just put on Starforge and they already count as Titanic. Or there's a lot of other champions that really like to use Chemtech Duplicator, and now Chemtech Duplicator can activate in your first or second turn. So again, it's just dramatically changing how you're playing, and almost every champion can go for new crazy builds that you never could before. This event actually feels incredibly different to play, and when you're comparing this to the first event, it's night and day. The other event was fun, it was a great addition, but your moment-to-moment gameplay didn't really feel that different, especially just your average game. But here, every single match in this event feels completely different than playing in the normal game mode, and it's so much fun. Now, I don't know what other events they're going to be able to do in the future, but if they can keep doing events like this, where it's impacting essentially the entire game, you're build crafting for all your different champions, and it makes your moment-to-moment gameplay in the event feel different than any other part of the game, and giving you gameplay experiences you can't get anywhere else. If they can keep doing that, then I think the future of this game is going to be very bright. So well done, Riot. This is an absolutely fantastic event. And if you're not someone currently playing the game, I would highly recommend now is the time to jump in. There's not only a bunch of rewards you can get through the event, but it's also just so much fun to get in and play the game. I think this might actually be the most fun I've ever had in the game. That's all from me though. Definitely put in the comments down below your feedback on the event. I'm hoping someone at Riot is able to take a look at this video, and I want them to be able to look through the comments and get feedback from all of you. So say what you love about this event, but if there are any pain points, anything that you're having personal issues with, also list that down below. I would love for Riot to just be able to get all of the best possible feedback just by looking through your comments. That's it for me though. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.